it is a tangled up story. Indeed, Matt, there are some new developments in that other Tesla employees have now spoken to the SEC and said that Tesla's response to the leaker, if you will, was out of proportion. What exactly happened here?
That's right. Marty Tripp came out. There's a Business Insider story out in the beginning of June. A few weeks later, it was determined that Tripp was the who gave information to the reporter there. Our story was reporting that the individual in charge or involved in the investigation, figuring out who Tripp was, says that they sort of went overboard in trying to figure out who he was, saying that sort of disputing some of the information from Tesla itself, saying Tripp didn't actually sabotage or hack company systems. He did access certain parts of the data, internal numbers, but sort of beyond, basically making accusations they didn't really have the evidence for.
Now, this security employee has told the SEC they hacked into Tripp's phone, misled police, had him followed. Meantime, Tripp and Musk were engaged in, a heated email exchange. Tripp saying to Musk, "You have what's coming to you for the lies you've told the public and investors." Musk responding, "Threatening me only makes it worse for you. You should be ashamed of yourself for framing other people. You're a horrible human being." Tripp responding, "I never framed anyone else or even insinuated anyone else as being involved. Putting cars on the road with safety issues is being a horrible human being." How is Tesla explaining this? Because part of the allegations here is that the PR department itself actually spread, perhaps you could call them rumors, we don't know for sure, but unsubstantiated statements.
Right. So Tripp was fired on June 19th. News of the lawsuit. So Tesla sued Tripp, alleging that he had sabotaged, basically taken some valuable IP. And that exchange was that morning after that lawsuit came out. And then a few hours later, there was an anonymous tip placed to a Las Vegas call center at Tesla saying that Marty Tripp, or a friend of Marty Tripp, saying who's distraught, potentially was going to have, planning a sort of a shooting of some sort. So that tip was then relayed to the sheriff's office, who had to sort of chase him down and see, okay, is this really a credible threat? The sheriffs did make contact with Tripp. We sort of described some of the body cam footage. They found Tripp very distraught. He's crying. And then he sits down and explains to the officers what had transpired. The sheriffs say, okay, well, we don't deem this a credible threat. We made contact. He doesn't seem dangerous. And that's what they told Tesla. And then thereafter, the next day, Tesla put out a statement about a threat that the sheriff's department had deemed, not to be credible.
Now, in the meantime, Business Insider's reporting Elon Musk took issue with, and he responded specifically to one of the reporters, Lynette Lopez, responding to one of her stories saying, "Sound very sketchy if true. Is it possible you're serving as an inside trading source for one of Tesla's biggest short sellers? An ex-Tesla employee just went on record formally claiming you bribed him and he sent you valuable Tesla IP in exchange. Is this true?" She and Business Insider have denied this. Is there any evidence of some sort of broader conspiracy at work?
Well, so the individual who was tasked with, involved in trying to find Tripp at this time was, involved in investigations. There's Sean Guthrow, and he's going on the record in our story saying that they never found evidence to suggest that he took a bribe. Tripp never admitted taking a bribe. There was no credible evidence to substantiate some of those accusations.
So what's next now with what these folks have told the SEC? Could the SEC actually take action here?
So, as we reported, Tripp did talk to the SEC for a few hours last summer, sort of talking about how he accessed some of the numbers, the internal numbers. So, the issues here involving the police reports and the potential, the sort of phantom shooter threat. So the SEC is going to be concerned with the numbers, right? What did Tesla say to investors, and what did their numbers reflect internally? And that's something that the government takes a long time to investigate. They
never determined who called in that.
That's right.
Correct?
Right. That's right. They never determined who made the call to Las Vegas call center, and Tesla didn't make the person involved who took the call available either.